We all saw the clip of the exchange between the two, that the moment Zelenskyy started threatening that, hey, you have some things that you have to worry about as well, and that wasn't a good look when he went there. We've seen this clip, Rob. If you can fast forward to maybe 30 seconds when he tries to say things about President Trump and he's not right there, that's good. Watch this clip here. I'm sure you've seen it, but we'll repeat it. Go ahead, Rob.
People into your military,
and
do you think that it's respectful
to
come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember
exactly
this.
I'm not
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
Audacity.
We're going to feel very
You will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives.
So while this is happening, President Trump comes out on Truth Social and says that an end to Ukraine war with Russia was very, very far away, writing, this is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelenskyy, and America will not put up with it much longer. It is what I was saying. This guy doesn't want there to be peace as long as he has America's backing in Europe. In the meeting they had with Zelenskyy, stated flatly that they cannot do the job without U.S. Probably not a good, not a great statement to have been made in terms of show of strength against Russia. What are they thinking? After a fiery Oval Office clash, Trump said, you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be very pretty. So that being said, Rob, yesterday, stories trending that President Trump ends the aid to Ukraine. Okay? And we saw that. I don't know if you have that or not, Rob, where he flat out says we're ending the aid to Ukraine. Is this the clip, Rob?
So I have Fox News reporting. I don't have Trump, but I can find it.
No, it's okay. This is the one. They're saying they're ending the aid. This is the clip. I've seen this as well. Play this clip.
Tomorrow, Brian, our Lucas Tomlinson reporting the United States is pausing all U.S. military aid to Ukraine until President Trump determines the Ukrainians show a commitment of good faith peace negotiations. That's according to a senior Trump administration telling Fox. This is not a permanent termination of aid. It is a pause. The orders are going out right now. The official said this in response to Ukrainian President Zelensky's conduct over the last week and his words over the weekend. So it's all stopping, Brian.
Now, keep in mind, the aid is done. I'll show the next story, and then I want to get a reaction from you guys here. Pull up the story from CBS I just sent you, Rob. So while all this stuff is going on, Putin's been saying, what does this guy really want? And what did NATO promise they would never do? And what did Bush promise? What did U.S. promise? What did NATO promise? We will never want to do anything with Ukraine being part of NATO. Now watch this. Ukraine Zelenskyy says he would give up presidency in exchange for peace and NATO membership. This guy is trying to negotiate a deal into getting into NATO. All of this stuff that's taking place, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then the UK Prime Minister, UK President comes out defending him, saying the mineral deal is not going to happen. It's not this, it's not that. So they're making it even tougher. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. Not every nation will feel able to contribute, but that can't mean that we sit back.
You can pause it.
Instead,
Tom, your thoughts on the story?
So, boy, where do you go on this? I think everybody has seen all of the historical constructs, and there's been a lot of people that old speeches and things that are on Twitter showing where this started. And this didn't start with Russia's invasion. This goes back to 2014. This goes back into overthrowing a rightful president and putting in a new regime in Ukraine. And this goes back to the progressive eastward expansion of NATO. And, you know, Russia keeps saying, hey, stop. You said you weren't going to do this. Can you stop that? And then the Baltic states, and then the southern states, and then Georgia. And it's like, stop. And so now you've got Europe over there saying, we're going to back you up. We're going to do this and back you up. You have to remember where this started. And no, Russia shouldn't have invaded there. And just the heartfelt loss of life that's happened in Ukraine to all the average citizens, this is horrifying. The count that everybody keeps talking about is 1 million Ukrainians have lost their lives in this conflict. This is horrible. It's like 10 COVIDs. And so, you know, I look at all of Europe, you're going to back up this guy and give him a backstop that gives him he doesn't have to find a peace deal with Russia. He doesn't have to negotiate with Russia. He can keep flipping off Putin because these people are going to back him up now. So how do you get Ukraine to the table to say, hey, look, you know, we got to find a way forward on this. And to me, I find it very, very difficult. And what's equally galling to me is there's things that the media and the other foreign countries aren't talking about. It's just how much we gave as grants versus giving as loans.
Can you pull up that chart, Rob? Can you pull up that chart? Just go straight to my Twitter
So it's
account.
complicated, but underneath, I'm pretty torqued.
Twerked?
Torqued.
He doesn't twerk. No.
Like,
Adam,
you know,
I know where your mind
I just was picturing
Ben out of shape.
Yeah, Ben out of shape.
Thank you.
I got you, Tom.
Here's the word.
It's okay.
Check this
And
out.
I
guys.
think I'm on your page.
Check this out,
100%.
guys. BBC. Okay, look at this. Government support to Ukraine. Blue is loans. Green is grant. Gray is guaranteed. Look at U.S. Only a third of what we've given as a loan. Green is grant. Okay? Look at EU. They're like, yeah, we'll give you a loan, but you better pay it back. EU knows how to negotiate and get the money back. A little bit of grant, a little bit of guarantee. And then you have everybody else. The question becomes, why are we just giving it away? Why can't we get the money back? Why can't he go negotiate on behalf of Americans? Why can't Trump go and say, here's the things that I want. If you don't give it to us, we're not supporting you anymore. Why not? And by the way, if Keir is comfortable giving more money to them, go ahead and do it. You guys got money. Go give it to him. We don't need to do it. If you feel so compelled, anybody in EU should be more interested in the protection of Ukraine than U.S. U.S. should be interested in Canada and Mexico. Everybody else in the EU, pay up. You go do it. We understand. We support your decision. But you ought to risk that money with your taxpayers, not us. So, Tom, you're making a very good point with that. Jillian, what do you think about this?
Can I, one more? How do you think EU is going to get paid back their loan if there's no money in Ukraine?
Resources. Yeah, of
the
course.
thing that they don't want us to have.
That's right. Jillian.
I actually want to play devil's advocate and ask a few questions. I'm
Please.
100% with Tom. I think there were 1 million off-ramps. I do think we provoked this, or not us as Americans, but our companies provoked this because we've taken their farming lands. We, as you've educated me on, BlackRock and JP Morgan have a $400 billion contract to go in and rebuild.
Weird.
So that said, Ukraine is the loser across the board as far as I can tell. They have lost all of their resources from what I can, again, what I'm observing. Why would we not? Honestly, I'm not saying continue to fund the war. 100% no. Nobody wants that. We want this over. But why would we not say, listen, if you do this deal and you're so convinced that Putin's going to overstep, should it happen again, we'll step in, we'll help protect you. Why would we not do that if we are invested in extracting minerals and our big ag companies like ADM and Monsanto and Cargill are using their land, they're leasing the breadbasket there? What would be the reason to not give them that assurance?
U.S. Why would we not, is what you're asking.
Why would we not provide the assurance that if Russia broke the ceasefire, because this is what he's saying. He's like, you can't trust him. He's going to break the ceasefire. He's going to come in. He's going to.
Right.
And Trump is saying, no way. No, you have the assurance here. If we do business with you, that's not going to happen. And he's going, I just don't feel that confident.
Okay.
I'm not a Zelenskyy advocate. I'm just asking you, why would we not say, like, we're sure. But if he oversteps and if he breaks the ceasefire, blah, 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 will provide support. Not that I want to be doing that, but if we're taking their minerals, I can kind of see why the request is there.
Yeah. So to me, kind of what we talked about last night is the following. If a company hires a new CEO, okay, John has been running this company as a CEO for the last 10 years. I get hired. The new CEO comes in, they bring new executive team. The first thing the new CEO does is they go through all the contracts that we have to try to see a way to negotiate. So if I'm an insurance CEO and I go to another company and I have experience and I know all these carriers, I'll go to a company, I'll look at all their contracts and I'll say, hey, I'm sorry, this carrier only pays you guys $130? Yeah. Only 130%? Yes. And you guys, how much premium? You send them $40 million a year. Why are you guys only getting $130? I was getting $145 and I was only sending them $20 million a year. Are you kidding me? No. This is ridiculous. Let me call them up right. Hey, Johnny, yes. Is it true that you guys only pay us 130 points and we give you $40 million a year? Yes. You got 24 hours to bump that up to 150 million so I make my money back of the last 6 years for the company, or else we're no longer doing business with you. That premium is going somewhere else. That's what the new CEO is doing. Now, the previous CEO, why did he do 130? I don't know. What were the side favors? Was he invited to events? Was he invited to? I don't know all those side deals. I was not in the negotiating room. So to me, it's not just about why wouldn't we back them up. You think Trump wants a world war? You think Trump wants people to go out there, another World War III happening under his watch? He doesn't want that. No, he doesn't want any of that stuff.
But it seems Zelenskyy thinks, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate for the people that I argue with on the other side. Yeah. And because I'm not an expert in geopolitics. But if I'm Zelenskyy, I'm going to want the assurance. If I'm giving away 50% of our minerals, I would ask the same thing.
No, I wouldn't do it that way.
Really?
I've already given you money. Taxpayers have already given you money. What are we getting for reassurance? For what we've given you the last 3.5, 4 years? What is our reassurance? Not yours. Look, so think about the gated community you live in, okay? If in your gated community, there's a, what do you call it, when every month people get, no, there's a meeting that they have, Tom, what is that called?
Homeowners
Association, HO meeting, so that I never go to. But let's just say there's this homeowner association that Jennifer goes to, right? And then she gives me an update. Gosh. So these homeowner association meeting, imagine we go in there and one of the guys says, hey, the security we got is 85 years old. He's letting people in. We had another car that was robbed. I think we got to hire a new security firm, and the guys have to be former military, licensed to carry, and we have to pay that. To do that, currently we're paying this guy $17 an hour. To do that, it's going to be $32 an hour. That means all of us, instead of paying $600 a month, it's going to go to $900 a month. And then everybody looks around and says, you know what? I'm with it. Let's do it. Great. Now, why should we all care about that homeowner association? Because we all live in that gated community. Now trip out on this. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's say another gated community in Fort Lauderdale that is 3,000 miles away from where you live, okay, comes up to you and says, hey, guys, check this out. Our community is not safe. We're getting robbed. We want you to contribute to our homeowner association to make our gated community safer. And you're sitting there saying, wait a minute, what did you say? Yeah, we want your money to protect our gated community. So what does this mean? Wait a minute. I'm already protecting my gated community. What is our gated community? It's called U.S., Canada, Mexico. It's called we spend 3.4% of our annual budget. Mexico spends 0.7%. Canada spends 1.1% of their GDP military expenditure. We're already making our gated community safer. Why do we need to make Ukraine's gated community safer? That's the question. And Trump's asking the right question, because if that's the case, EU should be paying more money than everybody else, not us. We're not on there all the time. We'll contribute a little bit. But number one, more than anybody else, with nothing in return?
100% not. But I get and then I'll drop it. It's just simply because the reason we would make their gated community safer is out of Zelensky's mouth. I didn't take money. I got weapons. Well, who profited off the weapons? Our defense contractors, who was forced to reform their laws about their farming land and give up leases to our big ag companies. They were. So now our defense contractors are making money. Our big ag contractors are making money. And now we're going to be taking their minerals. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be defending. I'm simply saying if we are stripping them of resources, and then you've got BlackRock and JP Morgan going in to rebuild, that would be our investment in their gated community. And what happens? Let's just say now Zelenskyy signs it and Putin does go in. Contrary to what Trump says and what I don't believe will happen, but he does go in and Zelensky's right. Then what actually do we do? Now that we are invested there, Would we step up to the plate if Putin decided to push further?
Okay, so you're assuming 100% of all the money that was given is all military weapons. There's aids, there's humanitarian aid, there's cash, there's different things that was given. What that number of the $113 billion or whatever the number is, $140 billion, we don't know.
Okay.
We want to know that. So the claims of the kind of money he's making, the claims of what they're doing when they're coming through, all of that stuff that people talk about, whether it's true or not, I don't think we'll ever find out. If we do, it's because someone's going to come out and someone's getting killed. Okay. If something happens to Zelenskyy, that's the part. In regards to Russia, let's talk, if we're talking about the military-industrial complex, that these guys want all these contracts to be able to sell more weapons. No problem. We talked about this again last night. The one number no one talks about. What is Putin in the way of? Think about it. What is Putin in the way of? The one thing nobody talks about. Rob, can you Google which country has the most natural resources, okay? And folks, if you're listening to this, I don't want you to say anything. I want them to guess.
Shocking.
Can you, don't show it, you showed it already. Can you guess how many people, how much money of natural resources Russia has that Putin is in the way of other companies going in there and having access to this? You know what the number is? You think it's 10 trillion? You think it's 20 trillion, 22 trillion, 23 trillion? Rob, can you pull up what the number is with Russia? $75 trillion is what they have.
Unfathomable.
What?
And by the way, can you pull up the ranking of number 1 to number 2 to number 3 to number 4 to number 5, ranking of countries by natural resources?
Jeez. That's not
by natural resources. If there's a leader's bulletin.
Weird.
Can't even wrap your head around how many zeros.
We're at 45 trillion. They're nearly 2x us. Go to the next one, Rob. Okay. Saudi Arabia is 34, all that oil. Russia's 75 trillion, Canada 33, Brazil 22. Yeah, where is Venezuela? Where's everybody else? You're talking about 75 trillion. So
where's China in this
he's
mix?
in the way of somebody wanting to get access to that. Right there. So look at Canada. Iran is 27. China's 23 trillion. Brazil's 22. Australia's 20. Iraq 16. Venezuela, that's like oil, is sixth of what Russia is. These people that are these big behemoth companies like the BlackRocks, the State Streets, the Vanguards, they're like, hey, man, we want to get access to that. We want to do business there. There's a guy in the way saying you can't. They have to get rid of that guy.
Wow.
This was the same case with Iran. Shah was in the way. They got to get rid of that guy. They got to get rid of this guy. So Putin's not playing ball. I'm not sitting here telling you he's an angel and all this other stuff. I do want to play one clip to get your reaction on it.
Okay.
You've done work with Bill and Hillary Clinton, and you had a very good experience with them.
I did.
Just so you know,
I listen. I've changed teams, but in all transparency, I worked with the administration on health matters.
How were they to you?
They were very lovely to me. Bill is extraordinarily charismatic, though. I mean,
for sure.
He's got it down to a science. This guy will remember a story about your sick chihuahua 10 years later. He's like, how's Baxter? How's your little dog? And you're just like, wow. I mean.
Okay, so would you say he's one of the best politicians we've had the last 40 years? Of course. Would you put him ahead of Obama?
Yes.
I would as well, okay?
Yes.
This is when he was asked about Putin in 2013. Look at his answer. Go ahead, Rob.
Look, Mr. Putin he's very smart.
Well, you know him better than most people.
Yeah, I do.
What was he like behind closed doors, away from, the sort of the public utterances?
Smart and remarkably, we had a really good, blunt relationship.
How blunt?
Brutally blunt.
Ever fisticuffs?
No, but I think the right strategy most of the time is, but it's frustrating to people in your line of work. You should be brutally honest with people in private. And then if you want them to help you, try to avoid embarrassing them in public.
Right.
Now, sometimes they do things which make it impossible for you to keep quiet. But by and large, I found all the people I dealt with appreciated it if I told them the truth. How I honestly felt and what our interests were and what our objectives were. And they also appreciated it when I didn't kick them around in public for as long as I couldn't kick them around. So, that's my experience. And
did Putin ever renege on a personal agreement he made to you?
He did not.
So behind closed doors, he could be trusted?
He kept his word in all the deals we made.
Bingo.
Bingo.
So that's Bill Clinton. So do you trust Bill Clinton is telling the truth? Do you think he's telling a lie? You know what you said last night that was so interesting about you? This is why I love you so much. You said such a unique thing last night. We're sitting there. It's very obvious you're not a Tate fan.
No.
Okay. I won't tell the whole context of the conversation because it's private. What we were talking about.
I don't mind at all. Go ahead.
No. But when I was talking about different individuals, and we talked about the different individuals, and I said, which one of these names do you think would be most honest with you? Okay, I don't think it's necessary for me to give the other names, but you said, even though I don't agree with him and I can't stand him, I think he would tell me the truth, even though I would disagree with him. Right? You said that yesterday.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
100%.
So this doesn't mean they're boys. This doesn't mean they're kicking it, going to Casa D'Angelo tonight. This doesn't mean they're going to go have sushi and talk, hockey, Russia and stuff like that. No, he's just telling you, I'm going against a boss that keeps his word. Okay, and maybe that's why Trump and Putin get along and Trump and Zelenskyy don't get along. Maybe that's because Zelenskyy is playing games and Putin's just kind of like, this is who I am. What do you want to do? So to me, I don't know. I'm not in it. I don't talk to any of these guys. I don't have a relationship with any of these guys. I'm just a business guy that's been in weird rooms at a much, much, much smaller scale that you watch people playing games. And then you have to position everybody and say, what is that guy trying to do? What does he want from this deal? How is this guy benefiting? What does he fear if this deal gets done? Those are the things I pay attention to. And in this scenario, I think Putin's in a way of $75 trillion, and the money people are like, you guys think $400 billion is money in Ukraine to rebuild that place? Shit. This other country's got $75 trillion. How the hell do we get that kind of money, access to that? I think that's what people want, that they don't have access to right now.
And they're willing to do that and start World War III that could potentially kill all of us. But Pat, you guys mentioned 2014. I don't know if you guys remember, Joe Biden's CIA director, the past one, his name was William J. Burns. In 2008, he was a U.S. ambassador to Russia. He expressed his concerns regarding Ukraine's potential NATO membership in a confidential cable called Niet means Niet, Russia's NATO enlargement readiness. He wrote, Ukrainian entry into NATO is the brightest of all red lines for Russia elite, not just Putin. He said this could potentially split the country in two, okay? And what people don't, I don't get what people, it's not computing. You're trying to put NATO, push missiles and bases closer to Russia. If somebody right now, Jillian, was like, you know what, China was like,
of course,
we're coming into Mexico.
We would never allow it.
We're going to build a couple of bases.
We would never allow it.
We would bomb and fight everybody. Okay?
Well, it was called the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you, which almost caused a war. But what drives me crazy...
Yeah, we kind of went IRL on that one.
Yeah, we did. But what drives me crazy is this blind liberal, it is a liberal support with the, I stand with Ukraine, okay? Which they can't even point it out on a map, okay? And Ukraine doesn't even align with our values. For instance, first off, gay marriage is illegal in Ukraine. So all these people that have the pride flag with the Ukrainian flag, you're an idiot. It's like the gays for Gaza. Go to Gaza. Go to Gaza and see how
it's lovely there. Go check it out.
They don't support what they fight for. And the two thing, as two veterans, Jillian, what they're doing right now, men in Russia, I showed it a little clip of Rob. Can you pull this up? And I wanted the audio of the guy screaming. They are running up to grown men, young guys, fathers, sons, uncles, and grabbing them. It's called conscription. They're grabbing them, throwing them in a van, and putting them in the front lines to die. Okay? What happened to my body, my choice? Body autonomy. These people
that doesn't exist there, guy.
Yeah, it doesn't mean shit. These guys, like, is there audio on this?
We showed
yes. Can you imagine? Yeah, but listen to the audio of the guy screaming. He's walking his dog, and then this is the Ukrainian officials or military. Look at it. He's running.
He knows.
And he's gone. Front lines, and he's gone. And Rob, you can jump a little bit forward, Robbie. The dog is going.
You think that guy wants to fight?
Yeah, look at this. Grabbing him, screaming, doesn't want to go. Okay, Rob, you can do that. So it's just, it drives me crazy of all this support, all of our tax dollars, when at the end of the day, you don't even know what the hell. I stand with Ukraine. When I see that sign, I stand with Ukraine, it should say, I bend over for Ukraine. I'm tired of it. All the money, and you nailed it. It's follow the money. And Ukraine, remember Russia, it's like Putin price hike, Putin this, he's the best. Give me a break. That sales pitch it's not selling anymore to me.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm just saying if we're trying to bring an end, that's all. And that I feel like Ukraine has been raped, pillaged, and plundered, and Zelensky's just a puppet, and we obviously installed him through the National Endowment for Democracy and funded that coup that Tom mentioned in 2014, or at least it sure seems that way. And this has all been driven by money, just like you say, follow the money. I just feel like I don't want to say we, because it's not us in the room. It's not Americans. But whoever wanted this got what they wanted. Whoever provoked this, don't move NATO eastward. We added 14 countries, put it on Putin's border. Like, obviously, you know, Niet means Niet. You knew what you were doing. You got what you wanted. And that's the only part where I'm like, well, okay, you got the farmland, you got the minerals, you got the money for the bombs, you got the contract to rebuild. You can grab all of their resources even further and 35x it. I just wonder why he wouldn't be like, sure. If he comes in, we'll step in. But I hear everything you're saying, and I know Americans don't want that. I'm not saying continue funding it, but
I'm going to come to you, Rob. Can you do me a favor? Pull up a poll from Guardian, that Thomas Sowell's Twitter account, whoever runs that account. We've spoken multiple times. Great job running that account. Rob, it's in the notes section that I have. If you okay, it's fine. No, go where you're going. It's fine. Go right there. Go lower. Some of these guys tweet so often that you have to go like so low till you find it. So then go to the notes section, Rob, that I have. Go to the notes section. If you go there, you'll see a poll. This is a poll asking how people, in EU, most Europeans, how they feel about Ukraine. And it's such an interesting thing because it's two separate polls. Rob, right there. Okay, zoom in. So zoom in first to read the top. Most Europeans feel Ukraine is not getting enough Western support, okay? But watch, before we go to the next one. Are the current measures against Russia and aid given to Ukraine enough to prevent a Russian victory? Red is not enough. Light grays don't know. Blue is enough, more than enough. Look at that. 66% say not enough. Denmark, Sweden, Spain. Lowest one is France, 52% not enough. The middle one, gray, is like, I don't know. And then the blue is, yeah, it's more than enough. 12, 16, 13, 11, 20, 15, 18%. Now they changed the question. This is the Guardian. And Guardian is supportive of Ukraine. Go a little bit lower and see what the next question is. However, only a minority think their country should increase the support. No shit, Sherlock. How should your country manage support giving to Ukraine? Increase it, maintain it, don't know, reduce it. Now look at it, increase, only 29%. Sweden. Look at Denmark. Go to the top. Denmark was number one at what, 60-something%? It's not enough.
What begets this entitlement, Pat?
This is not, and then go lower, and then they're like,
what begets this?
That's the point.
And it's like they work half the work week that we do. But they've got, their health care's covered, and it's all because we pay for the majority of the defense.
But
what is this entitlement that I am baffled by?
By the way, wouldn't you be excited if a dumb American negotiator agrees to pay more towards a country that's a border to you than you? How awesome of a negotiation. You got to give credit to EU for the negotiation they did with Biden's administration. You're not even bordered to this country, but you care more than we do. Send the money, but we won't. Look at these numbers. It's embarrassing. So socialism is anytime people want to give your money, but they just don't want it to be their money. That's what they have a problem with, Tom.
No, that's exactly right. What's very interesting here, how many of you think your sister should go to college and we should and that the funds should be there? All of her three brothers and sisters raise their hands, right? Yes. Okay. So who wants to give up their iPad and their summer sports so that we can put the money for your sisters? Everybody runs out of the kitchen.
Yeah, that's
exactly just what happened.
Adam.
Well, a lot of these countries are already socialist to begin with, so they don't mind being taxed at 50%. What's 51%? Because it's already just going to lead to basically being high
they
taxed.
said no.
But most countries are already used to being taxed. This is why
I know. What I'm saying is when it comes down to should we increase it, they're saying no.
Finally. So they're basically, it's like when you get pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, at some point you're going to be like, all right, enough's enough.
Yeah.
But you asked an interesting question earlier about personalities. People, you talk about 2014, what happened. Nobody gives a shit about the Donbass region. I get it. People there, they talk about this. But what happened in
the Russians that were there getting shelled seem to care.
Exactly. But the world doesn't really care about that. What happened in 2019 is really what we should remember. Because in 2019 is when Zelenskyy got elected, right? And then shortly after that, if you remember this, Trump had a perfect call with him. And we learned the term quid pro quo. Remember that? These buzzword terms that get thrown in the world and then never heard from again, like Kofifi, whatever happened with that. So quid pro quo. He's saying Rudy Giuliani was apparently pressuring Zelenskyy to investigate Hunter Biden. Do you remember all this stuff?
Yes,
Do you remember all this stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he had a perfect call. He was basically saying, listen, we're going to give you military assistance, but Zelenskyy, I'm going to need you to do a little something for Daddy Trump. And then They paraded Zelenskyy out to the Oval Office, and he's like, what do you think about the call? Reporter, he's like, yes, I did not get pressure, like in front of Trump. Sort of very like concessionary towards Trump. Boom, what happens? Trump gets impeached for a second time for a call with Zelenskyy. So 5 years later, when Trump becomes the president, you don't think he remembers maybe?
Yeah.
Aren't you that mother sucker that got me impeached?
Yeah.
Little homie.
Waiting for it.
And then he gets out of the car and he's like, oh, look at the little guy. I see you dressed up real nice for me, buddy.
Good point.
Okay? So there's a personal relationship there. So it comes down to respect.
100%.
So, yeah, we're on Team Ukraine, right? We're on the team
Who's we?
NATO.
You mean America?
America,
Yeah.
from a policy
Not
perspective.
me.
From a policy perspective,
Yeah.
right? It's not like we're having Putin in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
But from a personality perspective, Trump doesn't respect Zelenskyy. What was the whole video of him shaking his whole thing?
Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh.
We're also, because you've seen this,
I've
it's real
seen
hot.
it. It's ridiculous.
We're not friends with Russia at this point. Trump, I think, wants to have a warmer relationship.
Insanity.
But get this point. He at least respects Putin. Yes, he's a thug. Yes, he's a KGB agent. There's your boy. Yes, he's a killer. Yes, if you say something wrong, you'll get thrown out of a window. But Trump, in a weird way, at least respects Putin, has no respect for Zelenskyy.
Can I ask you a question? Because you,
look at this guy right here.
You made a great point. Why wouldn't Putin, like if they're communicating and Trump respects everybody, why wouldn't he come to the White House? Would you mind it? I wouldn't mind Putin coming to have a conversation.
Well, no, he's going to send us Sergei Lavrov.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is if that Madonna chest-wearing freaking freak that's probably on cocaine could come there and disrespect the shit out of us, Vladimir Putin's a whole different beast, bro. That guy.
What do you mean? You're saying why isn't he?
Why
coming?
wouldn't he ever come in?
Well, let me show this clip.
Yeah.
And that's a good question.
Can I just say one thing? Just think about it for 1 second. The people of Ukraine, you don't think they've seen these videos?
1,000 times.
They looked at him and they go, "Yeah, I'll vote for that guy." Yeah. So what's going on with those people? A little bit?
Did they really though? Like I know he was elected, but I mean I don't know. I tend to think it was influenced by us.
Oh, for sure.
If I could say one thing
there
about
he is, right?
that
Look at that
Trump
move right
Zelenskyy,
there.
oh my God.
Jillian, what do you think about that move? Yeah.
Sorry.
He's got my vote.
I actually thought Trump, for the vast majority of that meeting,
don't do that again.
was
You don't like that?
respectful.
Yes.
I thought he was. I watched the whole thing. And for the vast majority, I thought he held it together. You know, there was an arm tap. It was patient. And then, and he called JD, not Mr. Vice President. Like, it was building. And then Trump lost his shit. But it was...
You don't have the cards.
I mean, but I thought he hung on longer than I expected.
Well, I mean, I agree. The thing is, Trump actually gave him respect. You show up like that dressed, that's an insult. By the way, you know what we just talked about, 75 trillion with Russia? Here's what Putin said 2 days ago. Rob, if you can play that clip. Putin's like, oh, really? You guys want to do a mineral deal with Ukraine? Let me tell you what minerals we got here. Go ahead, Rob.
Мы, кстати говоря, готовы были бы предложить и американским нашим партнерам, когда я партнеры говорю, имею в виду только административные, правительственные структуры, ну и компании, если бы они проявили интерес к совместной работе. У нас, безусловно, на порядок, я хочу подчеркнуть, на порядок больше ресурсов подобного рода, чем в Украине. Россия является одним из безусловных лидеров по запасам.
Leaders when it comes down to rare earth metal resources. He knows the leverage he has. Of course. Hey, just so you know, guys, you talking to, come here, we got everything to offer you.
Can
Go
I
ahead,
say
man.
one thing really fast? As all you guys, when's St. Patrick's Day? St. Patty's Day. 17th?
Well,
Monday?
yeah.
So it's Monday. But I want everybody to know this, and
Here
Pat,
we
you have
go.
no idea. But today is actually, it's a new holiday. It's St. Patrick Bet-Davis Day. And he's the saint of lost entrepreneurs. And guess what? We have a collection, Pat. You're going to love this. Look at this shit.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
That's supposed to be me?
This is...
That's supposed to be me.
Listen,
that.
very complimentary of the nose, Vinny. That is that's a nice nose job.
So I'm gonna let you guys know. So we have a collection. Rob,
The fabric's nice. You should have spent more on the artist, though.
Guys, that's the collection. Look at that. So we have T-shirts. We have the hat. We have the Future Looks Bright with the little leprechaun thing. This is Pat. This is guys.
This is St. Patty's Green Day, like
St. Patrick Bet-David Day.
I
And guys,
love it.
anybody that gets a purchase, you get this. You get Pat's little sticker.
Oh, there's a
Stop.
sticker.
Don't place an order.
And, yo,
Oh
no,
my
no, no,
gosh.
guys. I want
Skip today's podcast.
He wants 1 million people walking around with Future Looks Bright. I want at least 200,000.
I don't want a single person
I
buying
want
that
this-
shirt with my face on it. Not one.
And one last thing.
I swear to God, I'm calling everybody that places an order and filing a complaint.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Whoever spends the most amount on this collection in the next 24 hours, you get this. Chris, could you bring this in? You get this.
So funny.
That's
great.
Stop it.
Right there.
How much?
Yes, you get that. No.
How much?
Well, you have to get whoever in 24
I
hours.
gotta have that.
And whoever gets it, the whole PBD
need
podcast
that.
team with
That
Jillian
is
are going to
hilarious.
Oh,
sign
yeah,
it.
hold
and
on.
Yeah, we're going to
It's
give you a
actually a great
message.
deal.
So the winner's going to get that.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice.
And we're all going to sign it
good
and
look.
leave a
Yeah.
message.
For you, Chris.
We'll even
You
put
guys
Jillian
really
on
What are we
know
going
how
to sign it on his
Huh?
cheeks?
We're gonna put it on his cheeks. So that's what. So just go to VTmerch.com and yeah.
PBD,
Are you mad at this shirt? I actually like it.
I love it.
I like the
Feel
quality.
that thing.
That's
The quality is
nice.
always
What is that,
fantastic.
velvet?
Like I said, guys,
Yeah.
if
Me?
stand up to see the
Oh,
shirt
look
video,
at
they
that,
can't
look
see
at
it.
It looks great.
I
Wow.
swear to God, if you place
St.
an order
Patrick
with that
Day.
shirt, I'm
Move his
calling
face.
you.
Hey.
PBD,
File a
Oh,
complaint.
man.
Okay.
looks good. I loved
That's
you in
good
Seinfeld,
stuff.
PBD.
You like me in
Loved you in
Seinfeld?
Seinfeld right there.
All right.
Look like Michael.
Okay, guys. So
Kramer.
that's for Future Looks Bright, St. Patrick's Day, VTmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.